D Militant. That's capital D,
Yeah.
the hyphen,
Right.
Militant. He was also the producer of BET's Comic View. Am I correct?
Correct. I started off as associate. No, I started off writing for DL, and then Cedric came along, and I wrote for Cedric, and they made me an associate producer because they were going to fire me. And I always tell this story that I owe Cedric a lot because they were going to let me go, and because they said, "Well, you're just a writer," and it's like, "Well, that's what you hired me for." But in honesty, DL hired me freelance as his writer, and then he brought me when they did the taping of the show, and I was allowed to stay on through the rest. But then when Cedric came, it was a new season. They thought I was connected to DL. I was looking for a job. So the fact that DL got me in the door don't mean I want to leave the house. And they were like, well, that's going to be Cedric's decision. See, they didn't know. I knew Cedric. Me and Cedric had worked the road together before. We were cool. So I just told him what the deal was, and he said, hey, man, ain't no problem. You ain't really got to write shit for me. I mean, you could if you want to, but I'll make sure you keep your job. And that's what I'm saying. When you run across cool people in this business, you try to stay cool with them because they ain't a whole lot. Everybody usually is trying to stab you in the back. So if somebody does you a solid, you remember them, and you should always, give a shout out to them. So I stayed there for Cedric, some more, DC Curry, and Montana Taylor. So I was able to stay there for 4 seasons. Started as an associate producer, went to co-producer, and then went to full producer the last year I was there. And then I bounced. And that's when I went overseas and did a lot of stuff because I really wanted to get into where, the bottom line is I'm making everybody else, but I wasn't making me.